The perfect manifestation is a blend of your intention and aligned action. Sitting and visualizing and picturing and feeling the feelings and being in the moment of it completed is very important and is doing great work toward momentum and toward building that like progress forward.
When you're disciplined, you are basically like showing devotion to the goal.
Yep.
Like you're like, I'm devoting myself, my energy, my time to this goal. It's a form of devotion in a practical, actionable, consistent way. Hey, High Vibin It homies. Welcome back to another epic episode of your favorite High Vibe podcast, High Vibin It. We are here to help you manifest your best life, release resistance, just step into your highest timeline, and be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And not even to change you, just to maybe upgrade your habits because, you're already perfect. You don't gotta be changing. Like, it's easy to fall into this self-help trap of like, I need to be better, I need to do better, I need to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you're already perfect. We're just fine-tuning the daily structures and the vibes and all good things. So welcome. If you're new to the show, my name is Kelsey Aida. I'm an author, obviously podcaster, and I help you to manifest through self-love and all the goods. And then my bestie Lynnsey here, my co-host, she's an amazing world-renowned hypnotherapist who helps you get your subconscious mind right, baby.
I guess I am kind of world-renowned, huh? That is interesting to hear out loud.
That is true.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. I want to just touch back with what you said about you're perfect already. There's nothing to fix. I think a good way to gauge this for yourself if you don't know, like, should I even be doing this or am I fine the way I am, is we want to help you with anything that's holding you back. So if you feel like you're being stunted or like you just can't get to that next step in whatever that goal is or how you're feeling or your life in general, that's what we're talking about. We want to help you hone in on what's not working, but I 100% agree with Kelsey. Like, it's not any kind of situation where you have to constantly be fixing stuff. Because again, there's nothing to fix. It's just, do you like it? Do you want to change it? Then we're here to help.
Yeah. And we're here to just cheer you on along the way because life is crazy and it can be hard. And we just want to make it easier and alleviate all unnecessary suffering. So here we are. Today, we were really excited to talk about achieving your goals because Lynnsey and I have been out here practicing what we preach. We've been working. We've been living our best lives. We have been manifesting some huge. So Lynnsey, I'll let you go first and tell the people what you have accomplished. Tell them about your project.
You're talking about my app, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so
anything else you want to throw in there too. But
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I got big and small goals. So they're all equally important to me. The big one definitely is the app. Align Your Mind is my app. It is available on Apple App Store and also mobile browser if you have an Android. But just search for Align Your Mind and you'll find it. But basically, I'm so excited. It's something I've been thinking about doing for years. Probably, Kelsey, how long I've been talking about it. It's been like at least 3 or 4 years. I've been like thinking of it as that thing that was just out of reach. Like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I should step into that phase yet. And I'll tell you, one of the best ways to manifest is to get very uncomfortable with the way things in your life. And the way things were with my membership was just so uncomfortable and not working anymore that it really kind of pushed me into taking the leap. So however you get there, I cheer you on and applaud you. But that was how it worked for me. I'm very excited about it. Please go check it out. And then, little things like we got chickens this year, which is something that I'd constantly been thinking about as well. And then underneath that little bullet point, I water glassed eggs for the first time ever. And it was something that was so intimidating to me, but I wanted to have them to store for the winter. And I wouldn't necessarily say I manifested the goal because I literally just did it, but it was something that kind of freaked me out because I didn't know how to do it or stepping into the unknown. So I think it counts, but it was very fun and I did it. And other than that, I've been trying to focus on staying in my curiosity, staying in my excitement, staying in my joy, and just bringing myself back to that any chance that I can get. That is my goal at the moment. And it's working.
So good. So juicy. Okay, 2 questions. I have 2 questions for you. The first question is, how did you overcome the like readiness resistance? Because I saw this meme on Instagram and it said that readiness is a myth. And I was like, yes, bitch, readiness is a myth, because when are you ever actually ready? Like, you just have to step out of your comfort zone and do it. Like, that's where the growth is. That's where the magic happens. So that's my first question for you. And then my second question that I want to say before I forget, so you can remind me of it after I forget, is I already forgot.
I love it.
No. My second question was, okay, answer my first question. I'll think of this.
I'll get started and you just think of what it was.
Tell us about how you overcame the readiness myth.
Yeah, readiness is a myth. If I had waited for myself to feel ready and aligned to, I don't think I've ever done something when I felt super ready to do it. I just felt like it was time, you know, like it's interesting because you always think, oh, I'm going to wait to have kids until this certain time. I'm going to wait to buy a house. I'm going to wait to do this and that. I'm going to wait. For you and me, sometimes it's I'll wait to relax until I get all this stuff done. Like,
workaholics in recovery over here.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Don't do it. You're never going to be ready. If you say I'll relax when it's done, it'll never be done. If you say I'll do it when I'm ready, you'll never be ready. And I think one of the coolest things that I heard was like, similar to readiness is a myth, which is there's never going to be a perfect time to do this thing. You'll be waiting forever to wait for the perfect time. Do you want it? Do it. Unless there's something real holding you back. But usually you can just do it. And I could have done it a couple years ago. I know I could have. And I also think we got to talk about divine timing, because yes, do it even if you're not ready, if you feel not ready. But whenever it happens, I think for the most part, it does work out that it is divine timing. It does work out in the perfect way that it possibly could. You know what I mean?
You might not feel ready, but that doesn't mean you're not ready.
Yeah. Or like, even if I could go back and say, well, I regret not doing this sooner, but I'm a huge believer in divine timing. So like, it wouldn't have been right if I did it before I did it now. I think with everything I've learned and with everything I was able to put into, specifically talking about the app, it should have happened when it happened. So I think it's probably like a dance between like being okay when it, like that it'll happen when it happens, and also like don't hold yourself back either, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I remembered my second question.
Okay,
Thank
go.
you for that. My second question was something I've been thinking about, because so my big goal that I just accomplished literally a few days ago is I finally finished my manuscript for a new book that I'm working on.
Yeah,
it's
you
coming
did.
out in 2026. And it's the first chapter book I've ever written. It's the biggest, longest book I've ever written. It was 63,000 words, 240 pages in like a Word document. This is a book. Like my other books are guides and journals and really easy to digest, and they're not chapter books. They're a little bit different. So this was just like totally out of my element. Not out of my ball game, because I feel like I do have a knack for writing naturally, even though I haven't been trained in it, but just intimidating, and working with a big publisher and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all that to say, when I was writing the book, I was contemplating, like, is it manifesting if you're just doing something? Like you said, one of your goals was to do something and then you just did it. And you're like, well, I don't know if that's considered manifesting. And I would say like it is manifestation, because what I found out when I looked into the origin of the word is
we talked about this on a previous episode.
Yes, and I wrote about
manifesting.
It in the book. Yes, because the man part in Latin is like manos or manes or something with, it starts with M-A-N, right? And that means like to be caught in the act. To be caught in the act of doing something.
Wait, isn't it like grabbing? Isn't it like hand grabbing? Manifest is like your hands? No? Touching, grabbing?
It does have to do with your hands too. Because think like in Spanish, manos is your hand. So in Latin language is hello. But like, I think if you're just doing something and going for it, I would consider that manifesting. But I feel like some people would say,
very hands-on.
You have to attract it in order for it to be manifesting. But I personally, and this might be a hot take, I feel like somewhere along the way, the law of attraction became synonymous with the law of inaction. And I just don't like that. Like, I am all for meditating your way to success and being in your feminine flow and letting things come to you. But it is a dance of taking action when you feel called and stepping back to receive when that's the right move. So tell me your take on it.
I was just talking about this, so not a coincidence, very synchronistic. But yeah, I think that oh gosh, it was one of our old episodes. One of my quotes was like, the perfect manifestation is a blend of your intention and aligned action. And I say it like that, but like at the time I was like, yeah, I was like very passionate. And I still very wholeheartedly subscribe to this. You cannot just sit and picture it. Okay, sitting and visualizing and picturing and feeling the feelings and being in the moment of it completed is very important and is doing great work toward momentum and toward building that like progress forward. If you only do that, you're not really, I think it's just another way to constrict the ways that it can come to you. Whereas if you are also just hustling and doing and using your manos to do things like nonstop without feeling, or rather feeling frustrated, hustled, stressed out, urgency, it's not doing what you think it's doing, sweetie. It's not. It's actually probably slowing you down. So I think that when you are able to, like you said, aligned action is important. Feel good about the thing you're doing, and that is doing so much more than a ton of stuff without feeling good about it. That's why sometimes the best thing to do is to just go distract yourself or go take a nap. Go relax. Go find a space where you can just be at peace rather than in that frantic energy. So you can't have one or the other. You have to have both. In order for it to come to you the fastest and in the best possible way, I think it has to be both. And that trust and receiving part for a lot of us is the hardest part. So I'm just supposed to sit back and let them do work for me? I don't know about this, but it's true.
Yeah, I was writing about this in one of the chapters, but basically Lynnsey's message, which aligns with what I was writing about, is align first, act second. When you act from the place of alignment, that's when you're going to be taking the right actions or the needle moving actions or the actions that come from inspiration versus having to motivate yourself. And what else was I going to say about that? Yeah, the trust piece. The trust piece. I was trying to, in my book, write one chapter about trust, but it was so much content. It had to be 2 chapters.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to say there. But today what we wanted to talk about is like practically achieving your goals. So what else did you do besides overcoming your readiness and then just like going for it? Is there any other like practical day-to-day things that help you to achieve your goals that people might like or learn from or might want to steal?
Well, one thing that I really like that kind of anything to help take the pressure off myself. I am so good at like stacking pressure on top of myself so that I just have to move. But we all know, as we just talked about, that's not doing nothing. It's not doing anything. So I have to like remind myself that I'm not supposed to feel so pressured. And so one of those ways that I remind myself it's okay not to feel pressure is to just let myself do one. If I can't do all of it and I just am starting to get really stressed out, I'll just get excited about one small thing. One small thing you can do to move the needle forward and to move in the right direction of your goal. For the app, it was, let's find a platform. Let's just research. And I know a lot of us listening are going to be like, or we know a person who gets stuck in that research loop and they never move past the research and the gathering information, and then they just can't take the next step. So that has to be step one, but you can't live there. Otherwise, you'll never move forward. Sometimes it's research. Sometimes it's sending an email. Sometimes it's making a call. Sometimes it's just sitting and visualizing. Sometimes it's actually taking physical action. Like if you want to start working out, but you don't know where to start, go for a walk, right? Like the little things that are very low stakes, low pressure. And then as you get used to doing that stuff, you can do more. As long as it feels good. Once it starts feeling not good or like staticky or sticky, that's when you go eat something with cheese in it. Hey there, it's Lynnsey. Are you ready to transform your life and achieve your biggest dreams? Well, welcome to the Align Your Mind membership. As a seasoned hypnotherapist, I've crafted a digital sanctuary where you can access powerful hypnotherapy audios anytime, anywhere. Imagine waking up each day feeling empowered, confident, connected to the universe, and ready to conquer your goals. With AYM, you'll experience deep, long-lasting transformations in every area of your life. If you're ready to rewire your mind, release what's holding you back, and start living your dreams, don't wait any longer. Just click the link in the episode description and start embodying your highest potential today. Did you know that this show is 100% self-produced and made possible by listener support? If you love the show and want to help us keep bringing you all the good stuff, join our Patreon. Your support helps us cover editing, software, and everything we need to keep this podcast going and growing strong.
As a Patreon member, you'll unlock amazing perks like early access to every episode, extended video content, behind the scenes footage, and more. And the best part, if you're one of the next 100 people to join, you'll get our exclusive manifestation toolkit valued at over $100 as soon as we hit our goal of 100 patrons. Head to patreon.com/highvibe to join, and we'll see you inside. And that's where the cheese comes in to help get you across
Kelsey was
the finish
just
line.
We were both just celebrating with cheese before the show, weren't we? We both
Just
had
a
a
little
string cheese.
cheese snacky to keep the blood sugar stay
I
light.
love cheese. Sorry for anyone who's allergic, but I do love cheese.
I was gonna say, for me to move towards the goal without too much unnecessary pressure, because I think we pressure ourselves because we think it's gonna help us perform better, but for some of us, it just makes you like more frantic and stressed, and then you're not at your best, you're not at your most creative, you're not at your most energized. So I agree with you. Pressure is just not the way if it can be avoided. What I do is, and this kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but I feel like discipline is the way out of pressure. Like, for example, with my book, I had a couple of months to write it. And I said, okay, every week I'm going to get this much done. And I'm going to chip away and chip away and chip away. And 3 days a week, I'm going to the coffee shop for 3 to 4 hours at a time to work on this. Like, no matter what, that's my priority. We are doing that. And so that way I was able to stay on a really good schedule with my outline, not get behind. I did have to scramble and hustle a little bit at the end because I was just like overthinking the whole thing and like being a perfectionist about it. But all that to say, when you're disciplined, you are basically like showing devotion to the goal. Like, you're like, I'm devoting myself, my energy, my time to this goal. It's a form of devotion in a practical, actionable, consistent way. And to be disciplined is just to say, and this is like so opposite of what we usually say, right? We're always like, feel your feelings, be in your feelings, like feel good. But honestly, sometimes the most disciplined thing you can do is just be like, fuck my feelings. Like, if I don't feel like doing this, too bad. I'm going to show up anyway. Like, if I don't feel like going to yoga because I'm just being lazy, like, too bad. I'm going to go. If I don't feel like writing this book at the coffee shop today, like, too bad. We already scheduled it. We're going. Like, that's staying disciplined and devoted to the goal. And sometimes that's the most self-loving thing you can do.
Sometimes I would say, because you and I are so similar and so different at the same time, you say the word discipline and that feels good to you. I would say commitment. Discipline sounds like, I don't know. I just don't like.
Well, discipline is like the way you stay committed, right?
Yeah, well, totally. But the word itself, like this is just for the listeners. If you like the word discipline, use it. If you like the word commitment, use it. I'm just trying to give like choices because for some people, the word discipline may be PTSD.
So, well, yeah, it has a negative connotation.
It does a little bit.
Being disciplined.
Like for me, I'm like, how dare you, Mom? It starts making me think of all kinds of stuff. So commitment, I think, is great. Commitment, yes. And when you said like, do it anyway, I agree with that as well. I would also say there are certain things that yes, I will do that with. Like working out. I do have a habit of like working out really hard one day and feeling great and then not doing anything for 3 months. Commitment for me would mean just spend 30 minutes a day. You know you're going to feel better after. You know this is just your anticipatory resistance of thinking about doing the thing when actually doing the thing is not that bad. You are able to do the thing today. Is different than like if you wake up and you're throwing up or you really feel depressed and you really just can't bring yourself to bring the right energy to the task. It is in your best interest in that moment to not do it. But if it is one of those things, and I think, Kelsey, this is probably how you felt, like, you know you're going to feel good once you get there. You know you are. Just do it. Just do the thing. And I feel that way about a lot of things that I just like, it's going to be fine. You know what you're doing. You know what this is. Just move through it and do the thing and you'll feel so much better. But I think it depends, take the situation for what it is, feel into it, see what kind of thing it is, and then move from there. I think we all need to
nuanced, right? Like you have to really understand yourself and your energy. Like
yes.
I understand about myself that even if I don't really feel like it, or even if I think I'm too tired, if I go to the coffee shop and I drink an iced chai, I'm going to be in a good headspace and I put some music on, I can get into a good flow. And it's not like overexerting myself. Like it's good. It's
It's
good
good.
creative expression, even on the days when I don't really feel like it. It's like classic, like, oh, I don't want to go to yoga. I have to get out of my car. It's going to be so cold. Oh, whatever. And then you show up and you sweat it out and you're like, oh my God, thank God I did that, even though I didn't
Yeah.
want to do that. You know, it's
I'm so
those
glad that I
moments.
did it anyway. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Because some days the self-loving thing to do would be to rest and not push yourself. But a lot of the time, if your emotions are just trying to seek comfort, I think that's a good indicator that maybe you should just push yourself through it.
Well, and to give an example of right before we hit record, Kelsey and I were talking, and I told her this week I made a commitment to myself to give myself a couple days off because the last 2 or 3 weeks I haven't really given myself any time off. And a few things came up that were like, can you do this day? And I had to so many times recommit to that day by saying, oh no, I can't, that day's unavailable. And it was hard. Like sometimes that if you're not used to it or you just like, it's easy, just put something on the day. Who cares? I will, in the same way that I will be so happy that I worked out after the fact, I will be so sad after the fact if I fill that day and I don't do what I said I was going to do. You know, so I think it can go both ways, but any kind of commitment you make to yourself is very important to keep if you can keep it. You got to be strong though, probably more than once in keeping that commitment. But that's the point, right?
Well, the boundaries are how you live in alignment with your values, your needs, and your preferences. If you don't enforce those with boundaries, then they don't matter. Or at least they don't matter enough to you to enforce.
You're telling yourself it's not like, I don't matter that much, it's fine. And then what kind of messages does that send to the universe, your goals, the divine, whatever you connect to? You're sending that message out. It's fine. I don't really need it. I don't need this. But no, we do need it, don't we?
We need it and we want it. And we are
need it, we want it, and we deserve
strong, healthy boundaries to help make it happen.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
So I like this conversation of like practical things. Another thing that you and I both like to do is instead of keeping like, I know we can talk about routine, and I think we should to some extent talk about things that we can do every day to kind of keep us there. But I know Kelsey and I are both very much into like, I'll speak for myself. I'm not somebody that loves the same thing every day. So,
same. I need variety. High up on the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah. So one thing that works for me, and I think Kelsey would echo this, is a menu. So like I've actually created, it's not a manifesting menu, but it's a morning mindset to get me in the right energy menu that I can do every morning before I start my work. Like, what are some things that I feel like doing today? So anyone can do this. Just find a few things that you know you like to do in the past, whether it's manifesting practices, morning mindset, like we just talked about, gratitude, hobbies, things that you just think are fun. Make a menu if you're not a routine person, if you're not a schedule, like everyday, sort of person. That way, each morning you wake up, you get that excitement of being like, what should I pick today? What is going to get me in that mindset and that mood to like really create some momentum? But yeah, what are some things that I guess either would be on your list or ways that you would advocate maybe for a routine? Are there any situations where you would maybe get a routine?
So I do have like a weekly structure, but the routine is like what opens me up to so much flow, if that makes sense. So the routine is like an outline, but then within that outline, it's like free flowing. So my menu is my to-do list. So I'll be like, this week, here are the things that I want to get done. Here's the high priority. Here's the low priority things. And then if I wake up on a Tuesday, I'm like, okay, what are the things I feel most energized about today? Let me dive into those because I have the energy to back me up and I can get it done faster versus just being like, Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday I'm doing this, Wednesday I'm doing this, Friday I'm doing this. Also, my to-do list I keep as like a living, evolving menu, and I knock things off of it as it feels best and most in alignment to me within the structure of the week, if that makes sense. And like the same thing with my book. So writing a book, obviously a huge undertaking. So what I do is I have the outline, and then when I go to sit down and write, I'm like, okay, which chapter or topic do I feel the most excited about? Do I feel the most lit up about right now? And I'm going to dive into that, even if it's not in order, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how I like to operate.
Yeah. Yeah, I have like Monday, I do podcast stuff. Tuesday, I do like content creation. Wednesday, I do, so on and so forth. And then I have a separate to-do list, which just is just a whole other animal. But yeah, that is interesting. I wonder if it does kind of feel constricting when I mean, Mondays, we can't really negotiate because that's our podcast day. That's you and me, and that's fine. But like, I bet if I woke up on a Tuesday or Wednesday and been like, what do I actually feel like doing? It would bring a lot different energy to it than like, okay, time to recycle some reels or like reschedule some content, That is interesting though. Cause I know like we like menus, but I use mine differently, I guess. But that's a good idea. And maybe I'll play around with my schedule. I've found myself playing around with my schedule lately. I think of a lot of people that I've talked to have said like, the way I was doing things isn't working, so I really want to shake things up. So if you're feeling the call to reschedule your schedule, you're in the right place because we are too.
Shake it up. Yeah. My weekly schedule usually looks like Monday, podcast stuff, Tuesday, Wednesday, writing or working with one-on-one clients or random miscellaneous things. Thursday, I work at the salon. Friday, I sometimes go into the salon for a couple of haircuts and then work at the coffee shop, but sometimes I just do other writing stuff. It depends.
To be clear, you don't work at the coffee shop. You work at the coffee shop.
Yeah, I get work done at the coffee shop. I don't work for the coffee shop. Correct.
Wait, is this where we learned that you're a barista?
Okay. And then Saturdays, sometimes I work at the salon, sometimes not. And then Sundays, Jeff has like football coaching meetings because he coaches a high school team. And so he's gone all day. So I'll usually just like do chores around the house or take Aida to the park or do something cute and fun or like try to hang out with the other coaches' wives and like get some wine or something. So our husbands are busy like all day. And yeah, that's pretty much my week. But lately, things have been so busy because one, I was trying to finish my book on time, which was stressful. And then two, Jeff and I we're like part owners in a real estate property up in the mountains. And it's a bunch of apartment complexes, but we're basically transitioning them into townhomes. So like this Sunday, we went all the way up to the mountains, drove 2 hours, built a bunch of Wayfair furniture, staged a whole house with 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And yeah, it was pretty fun. I was proud of myself.
I'm very proud of you too.
Thank you.
That's a lot of work.
Like the pics I sent you?
Yes, I did. I didn't know that you built all of that though. Because you did say
it was like in boxes, in pieces. Because
you did say you staged it.
All in on a budget. I was trying to do it like as cheaply as I could, but still like nice quality, good looking stuff. Because I'm like, well, it's staging furniture. No one's actually going to sleep on the bed. No one's actually going to sit on these chairs, but it needs to look nice to help sell this place. So
what are you going to do with the furniture once it's done?
I think
you're going to keep it?
It depends, but so we have 16 units. So I think once we sell the first unit, we'll be moving the furniture. So I essentially like started a staging company, low-key. But I think in the end, we'll offer like for someone can just buy it with the furniture. So they'll just take all the furniture. But I don't know. We're going to see. Because if someone early on wants to buy the furniture, then like, do I buy all new furniture and do it again? Maybe.
Right.
So I don't know.
Maybe.
Play it by ear. We're going to be flexible. We're going to be open. Because that's how you manifest.
Flexible and open. Exactly. And I think that's a really great way to talk about the reason that writing, if you're not a schedule or routine person, the reason that writing a menu and leaving your energy open is a great way to leave the universe open to give it to you and it being your manifestation in so many ways versus just the one way that you think. So practicing openness with these menus and with just playing around with your schedule and not making everything so rigid, because even if you are a structured person, it can feel very rigid after a while. So just move through it in a nice way, and that sends a very clear signal to the universe, like she's ready, she's open, or he or they're open and ready for this manifestation, and allows it to come to you probably better, most likely better than you are thinking right now. You want it now or do you want it better, right?
Exactly.
Right, Kelsey?
It's all about staying committed to the end result, but flexible in the how and the when.
And what is the end result? May we please remind people it is not the thing. What is the end result, Kels?
The end result is the thing that you think the thing is going to get you. So it's whatever feeling or need or desire is under the actual goal or manifestation. So if you're like, I want to manifest love or a committed relationship or whatever, why? How do you think you're going to feel in that? And how can you invoke those feelings now, cultivate those feelings now, and just practice instant manifestation and collapse time that way? And then you become a vibrational match to the actual end goal. And then it's just a cherry on top.
Oh, the actual end goal. There's a reason that we tell you to get in the vibes of the peace, the freedom, the abundance now before you get the manifestation, because that is what you're attracting. That is what you're attracting. You're already doing it. So if you can do it now and feel that way now, even just for a few minutes, it's just going to bring it to you faster. I remember in our Why You Shouldn't Manifest Your Ex episode. That was a really fun one. I like doing that kind of tea sort of episodes. We should do more of that, like
more hot
takes. Yeah. Because in part of that conversation, we really did talk about, like, why do you want this person? What do you hope that they're going to bring you? And it's always feelings. It's always, security, connection, love. I am loving and I want to be loved kind of thing. And then that's available. That's still available to you. It just won't look like this dirty package. Sorry.
Reused. Just kidding. But yeah, essentially, like, whatever thing you think you want, and in the book I call it your surface desire, not to make light of it. Like, you're allowed to want a huge house or an amazing car or a relationship or better health or lose weight or whatever. Like, you're allowed to want all those things, but dig deeper so you know why you want them, because that's what you're really after. And I guarantee you can start to experience that more now if you let yourself, and if you stop making your goals and manifestations conditions that need to be met before you give yourself permission to feel how you want to feel. Because what we normally do is we say, I'll let myself feel sexy after I lose 20 pounds. I'll let myself feel successful once I get the promotion. But this conditional way of living is just not the vibe. We cannot turn our goals and manifestations into limiting conditions. We need to leave them open and exciting and expansive. And in the meantime, go directly for the genuine desire, which is the feeling that you were after in the first place.
Well, and here's the scary part that comes from, like, if I don't focus on the thing, then I might not get the thing. That's the fear, right? If I don't focus on the actual physical thing, then abundance might show up in, like, a pile of peanuts in my backyard. Sure, it's abundance, but it's not the kind that I want, for example.
Not a pile of peanuts.
What we want. And the thing that I want to, like, really stress, because this is what helps me a lot, is, like, how could you letting go of the outcome make your manifestation better? I know you think you want what you want, and it's okay that you want what you want, but I would challenge everyone to make a list of 5 ways it could be even better than what they're thinking right now, and just watch your brain work to expand the possibilities for you. And it doesn't mean it's not going to come exactly the way you think. It just means the feelings you're still trying to get are going to happen. And if those feelings, let's just play, if those feelings really did come in whatever package the universe decided, would that be okay? You know what I mean? Like, at what point are you not going to be satisfied if you feel the exact way that you want to feel? Isn't that the name of the game?
Yes.
And it doesn't mean it's not going to show up the way you want. I'm just saying, if you make a list of how many ways, brain, riddle me this, how many ways could this show up even better than I think with my little perspective that I have right now? How could it show up better? And just play in that area, and just all it does is open you up to the many, many, many possibilities it can show up better. And I know that's such a vague term, because you're like, well, how do I know it's better? What if it's not better? It is. It just is. Look at your past, at all the things that didn't work out or that worked out differently and better than you ever imagined. The proof is there. If you look back on your timeline in your existence on this planet, you will see at least 1 or 2 examples of how it worked out even better than you ever could have possibly imagined, even if it just means you avoided it. Like, even if the better means, like, oh, thank God I didn't do that. I thought I wanted it, and I did not want that in the end.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Anyway.
Snaps to that, sister. Snaps to that. Okay, I think this is a good point to wrap it up, transition over to the Patreon. For anyone who's not on the Patreon, you can join us. Patreon.com/HiVib. It's always in the show notes. You can support the show for a couple bucks a month. You get extended video versions of every episode. You get little
early
card
episodes,
polls, hangouts, early episodes. Every week you get the episode a week earlier than the public. So that's pretty fun.
That's my favorite part. I love when people get early access because, like,
Right?
you're getting something no one else sees.
Just
That's cool.
special. VIP.
And
If
extended.
you want to be a HVI VIP, then go over there to our Patreon. And yeah, Lynnsey's app, download it. It's awesome. It's called the Align Your Mind app, and it's a hypnotherapy app, and you can get all her magic on demand.
Can I just say one more thing about the app? So
Yes.
it comes with all my hypnotherapy, yes, but I also have EFT sessions. I have card pulls. I do card pulls. I have live events that I do every single month inside. Well, it's just like a free event that you can join, but all the replays are available to members only and people that have the app. But it's like so much fun. You should just try it. Try it, and if you don't like it, you can just delete it with no harm, no foul. But I don't think you will because it's great. Anyway, that's all. Thank you, and I love you.
And my book will be available in 2026. Date is TBD. It's called The Manifesting Fix. Tentative subtitle, How to Get the Law of Attraction to Finally Work for You, because it's basically a resistance releasing guide. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. I'm excited. It's so funny, like, when you decide to write a book about releasing your resistance, how much personal resistance comes up in the process. So maybe we can talk about that on the Patreon. But I hope this episode helped you guys get some tidbits on how to achieve your goals more easily, how to just honor your flow, but also stay committed and devoted in the process. And we love you guys so much. And one last thing, we are back, if you haven't noticed, with weekly episodes. So you're welcome. You get a new episode every week. Leave us a review if you haven't already. And we love you guys so much.
Yeah, and we're doing more solos, as you can see. You're going to hear me and Kels way more than you ever have before. So get ready. We're going to be dropping some knowledge. Anyway, yeah, that's the last goodbye. We love you.
For real, for real. Goodbye.